Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I make fuller remarks, if I could just make sure that I'm here on this is the one paragraph resolution. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Well, I know what you have. Here.
It's to reduce spending through a transition. Sure.
This does not look like this doesn't look like the resolution that I have here. H.Res 38 is this.
That's the one we had. I was given to us as well. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the exact same thing then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just had a different copy.
All right. Thank Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Slaughter, members of the committee, Mr. Bishop, welcome back to the Rules Committee. You knew what you were getting yourself into, so you've got long hours here. Let me just say to the members of the committee, the very first rule that we passed on opening day in the House of Representatives had a number of serious flaws as it relates to the budget process. One major flaw was that you eliminated the pay-as-you-go provision that is designed to make sure that we reduce deficits when it comes to new legislative action. The second thing that was done as a piece of that was to do an end run around the statutory pay-as-you-go law by providing the chairman of the Budget Committee essentially the authority to totally substitute his judgment for that of the Congressional Budget Office, the independent, nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, when it came to deciding what the deficit impact of legislation would be. In other words, it said that if you don't like the call of our nonpartisan independent referee, the chairman of the Budget Committee gets to say, I'm going to play by my own rules, regardless of the deficit impact of those decisions. So that was one major component. The other component of the original rules package that was very troubling was you allowed one individual in this House to unilaterally set the spending limits for the U.S. government without action by anybody else in this House, without anybody else having to be responsible or in any way accountable for those actions. Just one person files a piece of paper with the House, and that set the budget ceilings for all of our constituents. Now, I think all of us here, Republicans and Democrats, were elected to take responsibility for our actions. When people voted for us, they didn't vote for us to give that authority to just one other individual, and yet that's what the rule on the first day did. So I actually was, at least at first, pleased to hear that we're now going to actually have a resolution, a budget resolution that set the spending level that everybody in the House would vote on. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, you would make a statement as to whether or not you thought that was the appropriate level of spending. But as you read the resolution, you find out it does nothing of the sort. I mean, it is smoke and mirrors. Let's take a look at what this does. It says we're going to reduce spending through a transition to non-security spending at fiscal year 2008 levels. What does that mean? This is a budget resolution. Budget resolutions have numbers in them. They tell you what the budget ceiling's going to be. And again, you may think it's too high, you may think it's too low, but we actually vote on the budget allocation for discretionary budget and other parts of our budget. There's not a single number like that in this resolution. It says through a transition to non-security spending. What does that mean? We know we heard the number $100 billion cuts for fiscal year 2011. That number has been shrinking and moving around every day, every week. Why is there not a number in here? Non-security. It's going to be a transition to non-security spending. Are the counterterrorism operations of the FBI, is that security or is that non-security? Are actions in Afghanistan and Pakistan as they relate to development assistance and AID, which Secretary Gates and Secretary Clinton have said are essential to our national security. Is that security, or is that non-security? So the bottom line here is that just like on the first day, they're asking this body, every member, Republican and Democrat, to buy a pig in the poke. When you vote on this resolution, you're giving one individual the sole authority to set the budget ceilings for this Congress and for the U.S. government. So it's a very simple question. Where's the number? Where's the number? What's the rush? If you don't have the number yet, wait a couple days and come up with the number so we can all decide whether that is the number that we think is the responsible level of funding for discretionary operations, or is not a responsible number. But allow this body to work its will on the budget ceiling rather than delegate that authority exclusively to one individual. And it's just beyond me why, after all the talk in the fall and throughout the campaign and all the talk since we arrived, we can't have a number. That's what the Budget Committee is supposed to do, come up with the number to set the ceiling. That's what this House is supposed to do. So we've been told that the whole reason we're rushing here before you actually have a number is that this, I guess, is going to be voted on next Tuesday. Next Tuesday happens to be the State of the Union address. So the President will come before the House and deliver a State of the Union address, and I guess this now provides an opportunity for a press release to create the false illusion that, in fact, we're taking action on the budget. And I say false illusion only because it's hard to say that with seriousness when there's not a number in here. So, Mr. Chairman, what I would recommend to the committee is that you not vote for a rule or vote out this resolution, and then give the House an opportunity to vote on the number whenever the majority can figure out what that number is. And by reading the press, we know it's been bouncing around an awful lot. But take a couple days, find out what the number is, and do it then. And let's not rush to try and meet an artificial deadline of the State of the Union so we can have something to talk about when there's not a number in it. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.